Hi, JJ here from 22 Explosive Hits, coming at you with another No Ktel Thursday. On No Ktel Thursday, I am doing my collection of full NFL games. That's why I'm in my shirt for my Packers that I actually root for. But I collect games from across the NFL. I love the Packers, and that's who I'm into. But I like watching full games. It's really cool that they release them on DVD. You actually get to see the full games, the actual plays, and what's really cool is you get to see like if there was something that happened in that game, you get to see the lead up of what actually happened, how the plays actually came down, and what actually happened. I enjoyed these actually more than watching a documentary. Um, or I also like to watch these games because some of them, maybe we've talked about them with friends, we've talked about them with coworkers around the water fountain or the coffee, and a lot of times the stories get a little embellished as to actually how the play came down, and then so in these actual games you get to see how actually things actually happen. It's actually a cool snapshot in time. So the first one I have is the Road to Super Bowl 42. This one has their so the week 17 the New England Patriots versus the New York Giants, the New York Giants versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then the sad game that's on this one was when the Packers played the New York Giants in a up at Green Bay. We Packers actually kind of thought they had it won, that they were going to go to the Super Bowl, and Brett Favre ended up throwing an interception. Probably one of the quietest moments ever at Lambeau Field, but that's on this one. So I don't mind watching when we lost as well. I like my team, but it was actually that was what happened. That was a snapshot in time. The next one I have is the New York Giants' greatest games. So what this is a collection of games, and generally what they did for this was that the fans voted for which ones they actually wanted. So this one has on there Giants versus the Niners in '87. Just to give an example, Giants versus Redskins. Another game in '87 has on here Giants versus Bears from '91. Giants versus Eagles from 2001. Giants versus Eagles again from 2006. And then it has the Giants versus Patriots. I believe that's the Super Bowl game in February 3rd, 2008. So it has on that one as well. Next one they put out a series. These were full games. They had I don't have the other one. I got this one used at a store, but this one's Bears defeat Packers, and they also have Packers defeat Bears because of the big rivalry. This one has on there a game from '99 when the Packers played, another one from 2006, and another one from 2008. Has on here three full games with the Bears beating the Packers. Next one I have is the Steelers' greatest games. To give an idea, of course, they go back to '76, '79, and 1980 on this one. This one has five greatest games. It's kind of weird. Some teams actually put out five greatest games, and other ones put out 10. I joke sometimes because I'm not a Vikings fan that the Vikings have five greatest games, but I think they're hard to find five greatest games. So that's how they put these out on DVD. Next one, I had the Cleveland Browns greatest games. This one has a game from 1980 and a game from 1995 and 2002. This one actually only has three classic games. Probably actually accurate for the Browns if you've ever been to their stadium. They don't generally get a huge following. Next one I have is San Francisco's greatest games. This is the five greatest games. This has the Niners versus the Bengals from '82, Niners versus the Dolphins from '85, Niners versus the Broncos from 1990, and 49ers versus the Chargers from 1995. That's when I have the Broncos' greatest games. You have the three greatest games by them. Of course, they had the Super Bowl with them versus the Packers, which we lost. Broncos versus the Falcons. So this one has more greatest games on here by focusing on the Broncos. I have another road to the Super Bowl on here for the Saints. This one is when the Saints played the Vikings versus New Orleans with that famous interception by Brett Favre. So I love watching that game. Kind of fun to watch that the Vikings go down with another interception, which was actually typical of Brett Favre. I also have the Raiders. This is three greatest games by the Raiders. This one is kind of cool. Goes back to 1977, 1981. I believe John Madden was the coach. Kind of fun to watch the old games. I like watching the old broadcasts as well. This has the Cowboys 10 greatest games. Just to give a significant game, this one has a Super Bowl from 72, Super Bowl from 78, Super Bowl from 93, some championship games from 94. Surprisingly enough, they don't have the earliest 96 as well. So this has a lot of really cool games on it. Next one is the 3 greatest games of the Redskins. This one has on here the Redskins versus the Dolphins from 83, Redskins versus the Broncos from 88. So this has more full games. This one is different. This one's actually kind of cool. This is the 85 Bears. And what they did was they put out the full 85 season for when they actually went to the Super Bowl. People may remember that with the Super Bowl Shuffle being really popular. This actually has most of the games, not all of them, because like it only has one of the Packers on the Bears, and the Bears always play the Packers twice, usually in your division. So it doesn't have both games. I think I managed to get a copy of that somehow on a news group somewhere as well. But this has pretty much the road to the Super Bowl, including the Super Bowl game when the Bears went to the Super Bowl. What's kind of neat about this one is actually O.J. Simpson is the commentator on a few of the games. He was actually a broadcaster at that time, so it's kind of creepy watching him. But you can see Walter Payton and McMahon and Refrigerator Perry, Mike Singleton, all the great Bears that were out there at that time. Yes, I'm a Packer fan. However, in '85 the Packers sucked, and so I pretty much followed this team because I thought they were just awesome to watch with Mike Ditka and what he pulled off. And this one's for Rich Strickler. I also have the 10 greatest Eagles games. This one has on here, I have to actually go through the disc because it doesn't really have on here. Eagles versus Giants from 78. Eagles versus Cowboys from 81. This one's really poorly put together, actually, as far as like it's kind of falling apart. Eagles versus Lions from 85 or 95. So it has a bunch of different Eagles games on here, 10 greatest games from the Eagles. And last but not least, of course, is I have the Greenway Packers 10 greatest games. These were voted on by the fans as far as what they consider the greatest games to be. And what they went with was, of course, Super Bowl, the Patriots in 97, the Patriots versus the Packers, which is when we went back to Super Bowl after 30 years. The divisional playoff game, Packers versus Seahawks, 2008. Packers versus the Raiders. Favre star tribute, that the famous game when Favre's dad died and then he came back and just played awesome. The 2002 NFC wildcard playoff game. 1997 NFL championship game, Packers versus the 49ers. This one also has on here the Bears versus the Packers. Favre throws 5 touchdowns in 95. And there's also a game on here, too, I believe, it's like totally in snow. I think that was the Seahawks game. This one's really fun to watch. Obviously, I'm a Packer fan, so I enjoy it. But this is really cool that we have the 10 greatest Packer games. I wish actually on this one they went back farther to some of the games, maybe with the Lombardi, but I'm not sure what they had for footage because they didn't save a lot of footage from the 60s, so they probably don't have a lot. And last but not least, this is not full games, but what I have here is a set. This is a Super Bowl films set, and what this is it's a DVD. Comes as like a booklet like this, and this has all up until I believe 2008. Yeah, this one goes as far as New York Super Bowl 42 is what it goes up to. But these are all the Super Bowl films. People know NFL has a really good documentaries that they make with really good sound, really good stuff. And this is a 20-disc set of all the Super Bowl films that NFL put out. So these are not the full games, but these are the NFL actually official films that came out. And this one goes all the way back to the first Super Bowl, which would be Super Bowl I, which is the Chiefs versus the Packers, 1967. So it has a full guide on here to all the games. So this one Another cool thing in my collection. Obviously, the NFL films would keep building from here, but this is really cool because you can go back and historically look at a whole bunch of the NFL films from that time. So that is my No Ktel Thursday. I got dressed up for it as well. I just want to remind the vinyl community, let's bring each other up rather than bring each other down. Have a great day.